A long time ago, way back in history, RCA came out with a spectacular mic, the 44. In 1976, AEA, a small company in Pasadena, took up where RCA had let go of things and got rid of that unprofitable small business ribbon microphones. In '98, we got to 100% spare parts for our favorite microphone, the 44, and reissued it in 2002, came up with a totally new mic, but with the same ribbon and transformer as the 44, but cost effective and for closer up use, the 84. We're now here in 2013 with the NUVO N22, listened to by musicians first and made for musicians to use in their home for singers and songwriters, for multi-instrumentalists, for people who care about how the music touches the heart and how they can share that with other people.
Wish your phone would stop ringing so I could start singing and dream about kissing you.
I guess I'm a storyteller. Come from a family of my parents performing and doing comedy and stage theatre, and so telling stories is the main thing I want to do. And so I predominantly play like finger-picking acoustic guitar and voice, and so I've always sort of looked for my recording sound to be like very organic and like to represent what I really sound like, there.
We look back at our favorite microphones, and they were done by people who passionately cared about how things sounded, by people like RCA who owned broadcast networks that provided sound for picture. And they could measure things, but that was a very cumbersome, difficult, time-consuming thing, and it didn't actually matter much. It was just what you did at the end after you had something that sounded good for the intended purpose. So they would listen with guitar and voice, with flute and piano, and they'd get a microphone to the point where they liked how it sounded. And then they'd take off from Princeton Labs, up the hour on the train to New York, and put it up in front of Symphony of the Air. And when it sounded good on all those, one microphone for all purposes, then it was worth measuring. And that's the approach that AEA has gone back to in their design work, and specifically has used with the new N22 singer-songwriter mic.
So I got involved somewhat early on with the development of the N22 just as a beta tester. It was really interesting to see the mic from the very early prototype that I got to play with and see it, develop into the mic that you kind of see today. AEA really took a lot of feedback from the beta testers. So it was really good because I had a chance to use it, in the trenches and working on a lot of range of stuff, and being able to use it on, vocals and guitars, and it's actually working with a lot of traditional folk instruments at the time, and it was great to see it used in those applications and find different places where it really shined in that aspect.
It very much has that characteristic ribbon flavour, but it's a distinctly different sounding microphone to every other ribbon that I own or that I've used. And I feel like the N22 to this day is my favourite mic now for capturing acoustic guitar. The next thing I tried it on, which I was very pleasantly surprised by, was vocals, and I tried it side by side with a number of other vocal mics. It actually sounded really close to my Wagner U47, which was quite an amazing discovery.
The great thing with this microphone, for instance, is I noticed when he sets it up, it's really quickly from when he sets it up to I'm actually recording. And if you lose that moment when you're ready to play the song and the engineer's not ready to press record, that can kind of get you in a bad mood to try and record it. So that was really good for me, yeah.
One of the key goals for the N22 was to design a great sounding ribbon microphone that feels no different than a condenser or any other microphone. With its active electronics, You simply don't have to worry about blowing up the ribbon by accidentally applying phantom power anymore. The ribbon itself in the N22 is highly protected from wind blasts by multi-layered screens and cloths to really make sure that you have enough pop protection. The simplicity and the ruggedness of the entire package of the N22 makes it a great mic for studio use and live sound applications.
Again, that's part of the ease of the use of it, is that you could really put the thing up, it's phantom powered, it has a good kind of, presence to it already. So you're really gonna have, if you get a bad tone with this, because you didn't have the guitar and the amp set up well, it certainly wasn't, the fault of the microphone.
I'd wear my soul's thin, but I'd still be lost in you.
This is the month. You can have it, N22. We have it ready for you, and we're so pleased to share it with you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.